We're trying to make contact with Joseph Lindsley in Ukraine. The word this morning is that crews have worked for almost 24 hours to restore the water and electricity supply to residents of Kyiv after Russia launched that barrage of missile strikes on key infrastructure facilities in Kyiv and other Ukrainian cities on Monday. They say something like 50 missiles. Water and power has been fully restored in the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv. And while the electricity has been restored, there is a warning that power cuts would still be necessary given the significant impact of Russia's recent attacks on critical infrastructure. So that's what Joseph Lindsley is going through there this morning, and that's why we're having a little difficulty making contact with him again today. There's also a little project that Joe is working on, and hopefully we'll get to talk to him about it. His team is going on a food delivery run this week to some recently liberated villages near the front, and he's going to tell us about how you can help. And we'll give you that information as soon as we make contact with Joseph, which we hope to do either in the next few minutes or, well, right now, apparently. Joseph, hope you're doing better than yesterday. Are things calmer at the moment?
Yeah, well, calm is it's a hard word to define, Bob. And the first thing yesterday, the clocks changed in Ukraine over the weekend. And so I was prepared. I was ready for our normal time, but right now it's 2:22 in the afternoon here, and it tells you the weird sense of time. I mean, I knew the clocks changed on Sunday, but every day feels like a week or a month, and so I completely forgot. So that was my fault. But we did have for the first time really in the past months, Kharkiv now has had regular power outages and connectivity problems. Right now in Kyiv, because of the attacks yesterday that you were just talking about 40% of the city is without power and water. And so it's pretty serious, but it's weird how you get used to it. And we, for example, there's it gets dark pretty early here in Kharkiv. It's in the east of Ukraine. All of Ukraine is in one time zone. Really, it probably could be 2 or 3. So it gets dark here about 5:30, and there's no street lights. So people, you walk your dog with a flashlight, or people are walking with headlamps. And most places are closed. Every few blocks, there'll be, for example, there's a Georgian restaurant, and they play music, and you don't see anything. You just hear this music, and you feel like you're floating in some kind of outer space at the end of the world. It's really a surreal feeling. Within me, probably within 3 blocks of where I am, I'm in a park right now. Many places have been hit. Beautiful old buildings, new buildings, completely destroyed. You can really see the damage that's been done to the city. And last night, Bob, it was a night of so many alarms. I couldn't even tell you how many. And you get tired of it. And on Saturday, I said it's probably not a good idea to go running during an alarm. But then I said I'll never get to go running. So on Saturday, I said I'm going to run during the alarms. And maybe if you move fast, it increases the odds of survival. And so that's the situation here, about 30 miles from Russia. And I wanted to share with you, to help everyone feel what it's like to be here, some words of my friend, a Kharkiv citizen, Ihor Balaka. He's a real estate executive and sort of leading civil society guy. And he sent me these words about what it's like to be in this city during the war. He said, in order to understand me, a citizen of Kharkiv, watch the movie I Am Legend. Yes, that's the one with Will Smith. Remember when he would come home, fumble around, feed the dog, wash it, talk to it. Then the alarm clock would beep, and he'd pull down the shutters, put the automatic rifle next to him. He'd walk with his dog to the bathroom, and he'd fall asleep in the arms of his dog. Meanwhile, outside, zombies were screaming, trying to find you and eat you. Doesn't that remind you of anything? It's like he's been trained in Ukrainian civil defense. Take cover when you hear the alarm. If you ran for cover every single time, you'd always have to live under cover, always in fear. And here's the scary thing. The basement really is no protection against the arrival of an Iskander or S-300 rocket. As Father Nicholas, his pastor, said, even thousands of priests in the world calling people to pray, they can't do it better than a package of hailstones exploding in the street next to you. And so every time there's an alarm in Kharkiv, someone is praying, someone is staring wearily at his smartphone screen, quietly saying, there's another one. There's another one. And then, like Will Smith, you're hopefully about to have a sunrise. Only, unlike Will Smith in the movie, you have people close to you. And that's a bit of the emotions that I think everyone goes through here during every single alarm, day or night.
Yeah, and it's not a movie. So yesterday, when we were trying to make contact with you, were a lot of people taking shelter?
No, I mean you would think, but no. In fact, I was just during the previous alarm an hour ago. I was in the shelter. There were a couple students that they go to school down there during the alarm, but otherwise, the people are moving about. It's a blue sky day. Hopefully, that gives you more visibility to give you some time to run. But no, this is how you figure out how to go on. I was talking with a girl in Kharkiv, a waitress yesterday, and she went to Portugal for the first 2 months of the war, and she said she missed home so much. She said, yes, it's scary, but this is the best way for everyone to participate in the war, simply to be here. And those attacks yesterday, they were very precise on the infrastructure. And so but besides the usual attacks on the cities of Nikopol and Mykolaiv, there were not a lot of civilian casualties yesterday. And so what they're trying to do as the weather is getting cold is to, I mean, it's really hard to imagine, Bob, Kyiv, which is the 7th largest city in Europe. People are waiting, and it's an amazing, energetic, successful city. People are waiting in line to get water. And so you see, this is the next move, the chess move of the Kremlin, is to break Ukraine's infrastructure in order to destroy this nation.
Are most of the missile strikes in the daytime or at night?
It varies, and I think that's part of it. It's a psychological game. For example, last night, there was a lot of activity last night, and you could hear, sometimes the noises you hear are good. It's the air defense is working. And in fact, Ukrainian air defense shot down 44 of the rockets yesterday. One of those rockets landed in Moldova, that's the first time this has happened. So the air defense worked, and the rocket landed in another country. This is really making people in Poland and Hungary and NATO nations a little bit afraid. But I would say, most of it is really the early morning. So basically from 11 a.m. every day until about 10 o'clock tonight, it's sort of a free space, usually.
Mm-hmm. Joseph, I mentioned that you're going to be helping get food to villages near the front. How can our listeners help with that?
Yeah, well, for example, we're working with this group, our Ukrainian Freedom News team, with the Hero Society, a group of Canadians and other nationalities. And they have a van, and we're going to travel with them and get some footage. We're going to recently liberated cities, including places that are still under shelling. But if anyone wants to support, UkrainianFreedomNews.com, click on Support Us. And for just $300, we can fill this van with food and water and get it out to these people in these villages that have suffered so much. They've been under occupation. So UkrainianFreedomNews.com. Thank you. Yeah,
a lot of people around here want to help, and I'm sure they will, Joseph. And all I know is if I was jogging there like you do in Ukraine, I'd be going faster than I've ever run in my life. And I don't know how you do it.
It's good training.
Yeah, I'll say. We'll talk tomorrow. Peace. Thank you, Joe.